Hey, Ryan Groff here, and thanks for checking out this quick training on customer service doesn't mean customer pleasing. And so you might be thinking, what? Like, what are you talking about? Don't we want to please the customer? Yes, certainly we want them to be ecstatically happy with us. The problem is with that spirit of pleasing the customer, it really hurts our sales when we allow that to kind of take over the organization. Now, let me go ahead and explain. So, what happens is, and here's the problem, customer service doesn't have to mean that the customer dictates your sales process, right? So, if a customer really most times are going to just go ahead and ask you, say, we need you fast, like, come on now, like, we need you to give us something yesterday. It's like the biggest thing ever. And then you go ahead and you just say, sure, I got you. I want to help, right? So you go in and you find out what the problem is, like at a surface level, and you say, I could fix that. And here's, I'll get you a bid really quick, right? So you go back, you stop everything else, or you do it on the spot, and they say, I need to think it over, or I want to get back to you, or oh man, thank you so much for this. Really appreciate it. So, and what they do is that pressure, gets to you, or you allow it to get to you. And what they do is that emergency really wasn't an emergency at all, because now it's crickets and they didn't really take action, huh? They're not buying from you. And what they're doing is they really just price shocked you. They really just got you to, or kept you honest, or, I think there's probably a genuine desire to fix something, but they're not actually thinking about you, and they're thinking about themselves. And so we let that customer pleasing spirit, let that cycle kind of dictate the way we do things, and we get into that trap, and we stay in that trap, and we don't really ever get out. And then we get so frustrated and then we're like, bump this, we're never doing that again. And then you kind of go to the other extreme, which is, you could be rude, or, make mistakes emotionally and things like that. So how do we fix this? Well, first, we want to evaluate your salespeople. Who has a high need for approval, and who has a really high desire to be liked? Because if somebody has a really higher desire to be liked, they're not going to ask any really good, great, tough questions. They're never going to really push back the correct way and gently and gracefully and add a lot of value. They're going to be just kind of getting back in that pressure wagon and pressure cooker by the customer, and letting that dictate everything. So that would be the one thing. Secondly, is change your mindset. Move from subservient selling to equal business stature. Okay, you and I are equal, so that takes some self-worth work. That takes some, some kind of pumping up and re-engineering for your team members. But once that's done, it allows us to remain unoffendable in the moment. Manage our emotions the right way, and have an ability to add a lot of value, and not be somebody, subservient and feeling this pressure and being pulled everywhere, and having this anxious panic feeling in your company. And then implement a sales process that supports our ability to ask the right questions. So that's really, really key, is to have a standardized, proven, milestone-centric sales process. So that's thirdly. Fourthly is hold your team accountable. Hold your team accountable. Once standards have been set, once success has been defined, once you guys have gotten exposed to what it really looks like and ought to look like, we ought to hold our team accountable to that standard and kind of break out of the old way. So that's really key. And then lastly, my video's in the way. Let's move myself over. Is coach your team, right? We coach for change. We coach for ongoing performance. Anybody who's breaking something out of the old into the new, the more reinforcement, the better the environment there is for change, and the more we capitalize on the momentum of our desire to change, then we got to stay at it. So that's something that is these 5 steps will definitely help with this customer pleasing trap that turns into, we feel pressure and we're back into this place where we hurry up, give them a bid, hope for the best, it's crickets. And so these are some steps you could take really quick that would change your life. This would begin helping you grow. So if you feel like, man, I would love this, more in detail, then go ahead and schedule a call with me. Tell me why you want this, what the old way is that you're sick of, if this is you, where you want to go, how committed you are, what your vision looks like, what do you really want, and then why you really want it. I want to talk about that, and then I'll tell you about my program, tell you if it's a good fit, tell you if you think you could really execute on it and actually become somebody who has the ability to stay in control of the process and still have really happy clients and still feel like your partners and making a bunch of money and making things predictable. So this is the training. Thank you so much. You could share it, you can comment it, but most importantly, I want you to tell me if you want to meet with me and talk about your current situation and go from there. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.